using our retirement scholarship strategy. Now, this retirement scholarship strategy is my favorite topic. I wrote this book several years ago. That was an Amazon bestseller talking about the best way to save and pay for college. And I'm going to dive into this strategy. I love this strategy because it's the biggest savings of all. It saves hundreds of thousands of dollars off the opportunity cost, which is that last calculation that we talked about. Works for any school, public, private, community colleges, trade schools, overseas schools. Maybe your student doesn't even want to go to school and they want to start their own business. This literally works for any education. Any student, exceptionally gifted academically or gifted in other ways, doesn't require scholarships or financial aid, works for younger students or students already in high school or college, and can be used to pay for college or pay back college loans. How you pay for college is 10 times more important than how much you pay. Everyone finances college. You either pay interest on loans or you give up the interest you could have earned by paying cash. There is the cost of college and there is the opportunity cost of paying for college. Now, the problem with traditional college savings plans, your kids may choose a non-qualified form of education. Maybe they decide to go into the trades and you can't use your 529 money to pay for the trades. Or maybe you have a financial emergency, or better yet, maybe you learn about real estate investing and want to put a down payment on a piece of real estate. And now you got this penalty, right? Or it may hurt that SAI number that we talked about. We want that SAI number to be 0. But this may hurt your SAI number and you could get less free money for college. But here's the number one reason. The number one reason why you shouldn't use a 529 account to save and pay for college is because it interrupts the compounding interest. This is the old way. Why does this not work? It doesn't work because we're interrupting the compound interest. Compound interest works best over what? Compound interest works best over time. You guys are about ready to pay cash for college using your savings, interrupting time. Let's say that you have to pay $100,000 for your kid to go to college. And let's say that that money was earning 6% or could earn 6% interest. If I look at that just over a 5-year window, that's $34,000 of interest I could have earned in just those 5 years. If you have another 20 years, that money could have grown to $300,000. That is the opportunity cost. So let's say that we borrow the money. Well, we don't want to borrow the money because if I borrow $100,000 at 6% interest, look at all this interest I pay. Now, remember, I showed you that we pay down the interest. Remember, every year that we pay on these loans, the interest is getting smaller. Do you see this? The interest is getting smaller. The interest, as we make these loan payments, as we pay down these loans, the interest itself is getting smaller. But by the time it's all said and done, we've paid $71,000 of interest, right? That's what we want to avoid. But it's worse than that. It's worse than that. Because if we pay that interest to the government or to a private lender for those loans, that interest is not compounding. Just like if you pay taxes, if you pay 20 grand next year in taxes, that's 20 grand. That is not earning interest for you. So what is this yellow? That's the opportunity cost. Now, we're talking about $159,000 to borrow $100,000. But guess what? It's worse. Okay? Because we've got a $700 a month payment. So if I'm making a $700 a month payment, that's $700 a month that is not growing at 6% interest up here. Right? If I have to make a loan payment, that's $700 that I am not saving for my retirement. $700 a month. So I've got an opportunity cost on my payments. Let's add them all up. I've got the $100,000 that I borrowed. I've got the interest on the $100,000 that I borrowed. I've got the opportunity cost on the actual payments, the $700 a month payment. And I've got the opportunity cost on the interest that I'm paying. What is the total cost to borrow the money? TCO stands for total cost of ownership. What's the total cost to borrow $100,000? It's the exact same cost to borrow the money as it is to pay cash when it comes to the effect on our retirement. Does that make sense? The negative effect on our retirement is the same if we pay cash or if we borrow the money. What if we could borrow the money for a lower interest rate on our than on our savings? Now, what if I didn't have to make a loan payment? But what happens to my interest? My interest isn't going down, my interest is going up. So my opportunity cost is going up. My loan, if I don't make a loan payment, my loan is compounding. But what if my loan is compounding at a lower interest rate than what my money is compounding? If I didn't have to make a loan payment, what could I do with that money? Could I not put that towards my retirement? Could I not put that towards my savings? You're starting to see how we pay for college is so important. Okay? So important. There are 3 components that we need for the retirement scholarship strategy. We need uninterrupted compounding interest. I want you to think for a minute about all the money that you have saved for college. All the money that you have saved for college, or the money that you are going to pay out of your pocket. If you don't have any money saved for college, but you were going to pay some money out of your pocket, I want you to think of all that money. What if you could save that for the rest of your life? Uninterrupted compounding interest for the rest of your life. And what if you could borrow the money at a lower interest rate? Okay. What if you could borrow money at a lower interest rate and didn't have to make any payments? This is free money for high income families. Okay. This is free money in your retirement to offset that opportunity cost of helping your kids pay for college.